Hey friends, loss ratio here. Welcome to the mitigation station. In this video, we're talking about washer hoses in the laundry room. Welcome back to episode 2 of the mitigation station. If you missed the first episode of this series, I highly recommend that you go back on my LinkedIn timeline or on the Loss Ratio YouTube channel and check out that first episode where we replaced this plastic water supply line in my master bathroom with a brand new polymer braided line with a metal coupler nut that is much less prone to failure. And remember, the average home has 40 to 60 pounds of water pressure in the plumbing system.
Wow, that's a lot, huh?
Which means 6 to 12 gallons of water per minute can be pumped into the living space of your home when an item like this fails. When these non-weather water losses occur, it is bad for everyone. It's terrible for the homeowner having to deal with extensive property damage and often being displaced from their home while repairs are made. It's less than ideal for insurers who are paying out on these claims to repair homes and facing rising loss costs. And this ultimately results in higher premiums that impact everyone.
That doesn't sound nice, does it?
The good news is that every homeowner can undertake simple and inexpensive mitigation measures to minimize the risk of these types of events happening. We've already taken care of the toilet water supply lines here in my home, and today we're going to move on to the laundry room.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Now, while we're still talking about water supply lines, unlike a toilet or commode that only has one supply line, your washing machine actually has two.
That is fascinating.
One for cold water and one for hot water. So we'll be addressing both of those water supply lines, or hoses as they're commonly referred to, at the same time. So what are we waiting for? Let's head up to the laundry room and mitigate this risk. Okay, so here we are in the laundry room. This is ground zero for tens of thousands of non-weather water losses across the globe every single year.
Are you being serious right now?
In fact, one of the largest property insurance carriers here in the States, back in 2020, recorded $30 million in property damage claims.
That's a lot of money.
In just that 1 year, all caused by failing washing machine hoses. So don't for a second think that this isn't a big deal.
It's a pretty big deal.
And again, this is not just about insurance claims and dollars and cents. The physical, mental, and emotional toll that homeowners go through when they experience a large water damage claim cannot be overstated. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at my washing machine and see if we can minimize my risk.
I bet we can.
So step one here for me is going to be get rid of this fluff and fold sign so that I can see what's going on. There we go. Okay, with our sign out of the way, now we have full visibility to our washer hose connections, and I can immediately see good news and bad news. The good news is that everything here is pretty easily accessible, and sometimes that's not the case. You may have to move out your washing machine and kind of rearrange things to get access. But we're in a really good spot here. I've got easy open access to my water supply spigots here, and even on the back side of the washer, pretty easy access to those connections as well. So that's the good news. The bad news is I've got naughty hoses.
That sounds really bad.
You can see here that these are black rubber hoses. They look a lot like a black garden hose, honestly. And the problem with these black rubber hoses is, just like our plastic water supply line that we looked at in the previous video, these rubber hoses just don't last.
They really don't.
Over time, they will degrade, the rubber becomes brittle, and they'll crack or burst. Here's an example of what a burst rubber hose looks like. And remember, 6 to 12 gallons per minute. If your washer hose bursts and you're not home, you are in for a disaster. And even if you are home, it's still gonna be a giant mess and headache.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
I can't stress enough the importance of inspecting these hoses on a regular basis, and perhaps more importantly, ensuring that you just don't have these old rubber hoses. We need to get these upgraded, so let's head to the store. Okay, We're back. We have got our new steel braided hoses. These are exponentially better than these old black rubber hoses that I currently have installed on my washing machine. So let's go ahead and get these new hoses in place and mitigate this risk. So step one, very simple. Obviously, we need to turn off the water supply to both of these washer hoses. So just like a standard garden hose, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn both of these off. You can see the left here is my hot water indicated by red. The right side is my cold. So I'm just gonna get these nice and snug and get that water turned off. Next, just like your garden hose, we need to disconnect these. So I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew them one by one. Now there's gonna be a little bit of water in the hoses, so I've got a rag here to try to keep things nice and tidy.
Kind of a clean freak.
Get this in here and go ahead and unscrew our hot hose first. And again, a little bit of water in this hose, so I'm just gonna keep it up as best as I can. We'll do these one at a time. Now I'm gonna come here and disconnect it from the back of my washing machine. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we've got our first hose, the hot water side disconnected, and I'm gonna follow the same procedure to do the second hose, the cold water hose. All right, disconnected there. And disconnect from the back of the washing machine here. Okay, so there we have it. We've now removed our old rubber hoses, and again, these were a ticking time bomb.
She's gonna blow!
It was not a matter of if these hoses were going to fail, it's just a matter of when. So let's get rid of these. And now the fun part.
This is gonna be fun.
We are going to install our new stainless steel braided hoses, and these are gonna give me and my insurer a lot more peace of mind. Okay, there we go. So we've got our new stainless hoses installed. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the water back on and make sure that we don't have any leaks. All right, the hot looks good. We'll go ahead and turn the cold on. All right, great. I don't see any leaks anywhere.
Imagine that.
Visually, I don't feel any moisture back there. Now, it's a good idea to check this maybe in a couple hours, in another day or two, just to make sure that you don't detect any moisture or any leaks going on. We want to make sure that we've got a good seal there on those new hoses. So for just a few dollars and a few minutes, we have very easily mitigated a big water damage risk here in my home, and I'm gonna sleep a lot easier tonight. If you're a property insurance carrier or an underwriter, how many of these old rubber washer hoses do you have in your book of business? You can learn the answer to that question through a self-inspection program that both informs and educates your policyholders on the nature of this risk and encourages them to take easy corrective actions like this. As always, thanks so much for watching and following along.
Seriously, thank you so much.
I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments below. Let's continue the conversation, and I'll see you in the next episode where we're installing water leak sensors and an automatic water shutoff.